Have there ever been moments when you felt unsafe, uneasy, or intimidated at work? If yes, you're not alone. It can be disastrous for our personal and professional life to experience workplace harassment and discrimination. Let me tell you a little about myself. I was left feeling helpless and perplexed by an incident that happened at my former job a few years ago. Although I realized there was a problem, I wasn't sure how to solve it. That period was tense and lonely. Fortunately, Deborah C England's book, Essential Guide to Handling Workplace Harassment and Discrimination, came to my attention. For many others like myself, this book has been a lifeline. You'll be able to take charge of your circumstances with its wealth of useful guidance, doable actions, and real-world examples. Irrespective of your level of experience, this book is essential reading for all professionals regarding identifying, recording, and reporting harassment and discrimination. It offers priceless advice. Understanding the many forms of harassment, your legal rights, and practical methods for handling challenging coworkers or superiors will all be covered. So that you don't miss out on this series, please ring the bell, subscribe, and click the like button. Here are the main takeaways from this book that you should understand. Knowledge of the legal framework is the first lesson. It's a straightforward concept. Laws exist to shield individuals against discrimination and harassment in the workplace. Such legislation as the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Civil Rights Act can help us prevent major problems in the future if we understand them. How then can we apply this in practical terms? Ensuring that your workplace standards adhere to legal requirements and that your staff members understand what is and is not acceptable are your two main responsibilities as an employer. Understanding your rights as an employee enables you to identify problems and file reports when they arise. And this is the main advantage? There's more safety and civility at work for all of us. Companies also save time, money, and stress by avoiding legal issues with its assistance. Allow me to briefly illustrate. As a manager, you can be approached by a worker who claims they have been subjected to handicap discrimination. You will be fully equipped to deal with them if you are familiar with the legislation. In addition to shielding the business from potential legal issues, you may guarantee the worker receives the accommodations they require. Now let's explore the second important lesson: establishing efficacious policies to prevent discrimination and harassment. A strong policy outlining acceptable and unacceptable behavior in the context of harassment and discrimination ought to be implemented by every organization. To get everyone on the same page, it's like laying out the rules. In what practical sense does this operate? A policy that specifies what behaviors are undesirable, how employees can report concerns, and what happens when someone defies the guidelines should be created by firm owners or human resources managers. Ensuring that all employees are aware of and able to readily adhere to the policy is also key. What is this situation's biggest win? Employers and employees are both safeguarded by well-defined policies. When there is a procedure in place for dealing with inappropriate behavior, employees feel safer and more at ease. By demonstrating that you take harassment and discrimination seriously, also lessens the possibility of legal issues for the business. Consider this. Zero tolerance for racial discrimination is outlined in a company's explicit policy. An employee brings up a problem one day. The policy ensures that management is aware of exactly what actions to follow, including starting an inquiry, obtaining information, and taking necessary action. It's all handled efficiently, and everyone knows what to anticipate. Comprehensive training for supervisors and staff is the focus of the third important lesson. The fundamental tenet is that it is imperative to provide frequent training on discrimination and harassment. This is a continuous process. All individuals must be informed about appropriate conduct and how to handle problems as they emerge. So, how can we put this into practice? Organizing training sessions for supervisors and staff members is something you should do as a manager. Sessions like role-playing games or even online classes can fall under this category. Everybody's understanding of the policies and their responsibilities is the aim. Why is all of this training beneficial? The workplace becomes more cognizant and courteous as a result. Workers feel more empowered to speak out when they witness misconduct because they can identify what behaviors are considered harassment and discrimination. In addition, it demonstrates the company's concern for the welfare of its staff. Think of this. Staff members engage in conversations around diversity and inclusion at a training session hosted by your company. They exchange stories and discover ways to help one another during the session. Eventually, after seeing improper behavior, someone becomes comfortable enough to report it because they know the organization will support them. Proceed to the fourth essential lesson: perform equitable and extensive research. The fundamental tenet is that it is critical to carry out an impartial and exhaustive investigation as soon as a complaint is made. This guarantees that everyone is heard and that the matter is resolved appropriately. What is the practical application of this? When a complaint is made and you work in management, you should respond quickly to address it. You should first recognize the complaint, then interview all parties to obtain information, and then meticulously record everything. You must maintain objectivity and neutrality throughout. An appropriate inquiry fosters trust among employees, which is the primary advantage of this strategy. Given that their concerns are being considered, they will be more comfortable raising concerns. Not only does it assist the business deal with issues more rapidly, but it also lowers the possibility of legal repercussions. Imagine a scenario where a worker alleges that a colleague has harassed them. You take over and launch the inquiry in your capacity as manager. The staff member, the defendant, and any witnesses are questioned. You determine that the claim is supported after compiling all the data, at which point you proceed as necessary. The way you addressed it shows others that the organization is serious about these issues. Lastly, encouraging a positive work culture and refraining from retaliation is the final important lesson. This case involves a straightforward principle. It is imperative to maintain precise and comprehensive documentation of all allegations, inquiries, and resolutions related to harassment and discrimination. An organization's paperwork safeguards its personnel as well. So, how can we put this into practice? Establishing a method for recording each stage of the procedure is essential if you work as a manager or in human resources. Copying emails, interview notes, and any other pertinent data are included in this. Ensure that all items are arranged and safely kept. Why is thorough documentation beneficial? It presents a transparent record of the events and demonstrates that the business regarded the complaint with due diligence. Having thorough documentation on hand might be essential for defending the company in court and proving that it is adhering to regulations and procedures should a situation turn ugly. Think of this. Following a harassment complaint investigation, you have recorded all of your findings and actions. Someone questions how the previous instance was handled when a similar problem occurs later. Your ability to demonstrate that appropriate procedures were followed thanks to comprehensive documentation increases the confidence that your processes have. A valuable resource for anyone dealing with harassment or discrimination at work is the essential guide to handling workplace harassment and discrimination. Don't forget that you are not alone. Go for the help you deserve and act accordingly. Thanks for watching. For more career guidance and insights, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. In the next one, I'll see you.